Now Martin's had a 17-year heroin addiction. We were together for 19 years, so most of that time I actually went through with Martin his addiction. I also like to mention that way back in the past I did use drugs, and also so I have an understanding of both, and I understand what it's like for the addict and the family member to actually go through this. I've researched psychology and addiction in various different ways. I've attended seminars, I've read hundreds of books on psychology, and obviously researched the internet as well. I understand how it affects the children, obviously having 2 children myself and what they've actually been through. And then going back to Martin, he actually went to 2 rehabs. And what I learned from that is that rehabs actually generally work with the addict themselves, and there isn't that much family involvement. In fact, in the 2 rehabs that Martin went to, I think the first rehab I probably saw him 3 times, and in the second rehab I only went to see him twice. And that was not because that I didn't want to go and see him, it's just that that's what they allowed. So the family involvement is very scarce. And from that I understood how everybody actually needs to change. What happens when people go to rehab is there's a communication breakdown between the person in rehab and the family that are actually left at home, because they don't actually understand what rehab is actually doing to that person. It's actually changing their psychology, and I actually thought that Martin would come back exactly the same person but without the drugs. But boy, I got that wrong, so yeah. So it's important that everybody is educated and that they understand recovery themselves. Families need to be part of the support network, because when they come out of rehab, in rehab they're in a bubble and it's not like the real world. So when they actually come out into the real world, it's like, shit, you know, now I'm in the real world, what do I do? Just grab me other notes. So it's really important, not only if people go to rehab, but obviously if they're at home as well and haven't been to rehab, to actually understand the recovery process with the family together. Now there are other organisations that obviously do work with, you know, counselling, drug counselling, alcohol counselling and other things, but there's not an organisation out there that actually brings the 2 together.